Welcome to Gruene, Texas, a town whose history is intertwined with the Guadalupe River and those that settled its riverbanks. If it wasn't for El Camino Real de los Tejas, a trail that brought settlers and travelers across Texas, what we know today as Gruene would probably not exist. The original trailblazers were the Spaniards and French, followed by legendary Texans Stephen F. Austin, better known as the father of Texas, Jim Bowie and his famous knife, Texas's very first president, Sam Houston, and the king of the wild frontier himself, Davy Crockett. True grit and determination were the hallmarks of pioneering Texans, and many a wagon train crossed the Guadalupe River, seeking fortune and glory out west. With the low water crossing accessible from both sides of the river, Gruene became the most efficient place for wagons to make a crossing for over 100 miles. But before pioneers could lay claim to their fortune, they had to make it out of the water. The dirt road leading up into Gruene from the river was so steep that oftentimes a pair of mules were kept in harnesses to help stagecoaches navigate the treacherous incline. Problems with flooding have long since plagued this river. Passengers on stagecoaches were stranded for as long as 3 days during the spring, when the river would often overflow its banks. One wagon in 1845 was halted not by a flood, but by an illness. Ernst Gruene and his wife Antoinette left Hanover, Germany in 1845 and spent 9 months trekking across the globe to Texas, often persevering through tumultuous conditions. But when they arrived in New Braunfels, a bad case of cholera stopped them in their tracks. After recovering and settling in, Ernst and Antoinette had 2 sons, Ernst Jr. and H.D., and then a daughter named Joanna. Both Ernst Jr. and H.D. dreamed of a life away from home, and despite their father's best wishes, they left to explore other opportunities. Ernst Jr. left home on horseback, but he didn't make it too far. He became a merchant in nearby Wimberley. When Ernst Sr. found out how close his son was, he went after him. When prodigal son Ernst Jr. saw his father riding into Wimberley, he assumed that he had come for him. But his father's response was simply, "No, son, I came for my horse." By 1909, horses were already becoming a thing of the past, as a low-lying bridge was built for automobiles to cross the Guadalupe. But this small stretch of concrete was no match for recurring floods. Swift currents and large debris would repeatedly take their toll. Today, tubers and tourists can safely cross the river, whether it be over or under it. Due to this unique low water crossing and a family's wildcatter nature, there are now an abundance of historic sites that beckon the modern-day explorer to travel across Texas along the old El Camino Real to experience Gruene. And after crossing the bridge, you will enter into a world of history, to a town that's been gently resisting change since 1872.